How you liking this?
I'm liking the Zuby. I'm feeling more connected to nature. I really feel like I'm a mountain child now. I put those all who wander are not lost sticker on the back already. I got a mountain picture. Yeah, coexist.
You're at Whole Foods.
Exactly. Like, I went to Sprouts yesterday, and there's no Sprouts in Laramie, so I don't know how I ended up there.
I think we've all been there.
Exactly. No, the one is I actually did Trader Joe's for the first time in my life, not too long ago.
Oh, nice. Do you have a TJ's in Laramie?
No, we don't. We were down in New Mexico for a little vacation.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the little house. It was very nice. Yeah, I would say Meow Wolf in Santa Fe, very fun place, really beautiful scenery in the Cimarron Pass. So, it's very nice. But yeah, I got to go to my first Trader Joe's, and I kind of get it now.
Yeah, you can have a lot of fun shopping at a TJ's, especially once you know what you like there. Mm-hmm. Coconut aminos for $3. That's usually a $7 to $8 bottle. I don't know if you've had coconut aminos.
I've not done that.
It's like a soy sauce substitute, but it's so good. It's very sweet, just minor salt, not overly coconutty. It's like the only thing you need to put. It's a great stir fry sauce because if you're gonna go a lot of times teriyaki or any other sauce. So a lot of times it's full of sugar, and it's
who doesn't love sugar? Doesn't love sugar.
Look, I love sugar, but I avoid it like the fucking plague. I'm not gonna lie. I've been not eating much of sugar except for fruit, because who's not gonna eat fruit?
Yeah.
I had an apple just before this podcast.
Nice. You seem energized about it.
It was good. I've been doing intermittent fasting. Are you familiar?
Yes, I am familiar.
I've been grinding on that for 2 weeks.
Hey, good for you. I've been on a low carb kind of deal for myself.
Yeah. It's got to be a low carb life for me. I just, I got that poor farming metabolism where if I eat something, my body's like, hold on to that. Winter's ahead.
Yeah. Well, we're getting ready for the big race. That's all we're doing.
We're getting ready for the big race. I've been waiting years for it, but
hey, it's coming up. We're getting ready for the big race.
It's coming up. Yeah. Well,
but hey, speaking of cooking, speaking of doing stuff, let me ask you a question. This will kind of segue in.
Yeah.
So, we've all tried to impress someone we're attracted to.
Can confirm.
Yeah. Cooking's a great way that people do it. You make food. Mm-hmm. That's the way you do it. You do pickup lines. If you're smooth, which I'm not, so don't ask. We all do a lot of things to impress other people. Maybe taking them out to Trader Joe's.
Mm-hmm. A little TJ's trip.
A little TJ's trip. Date night? Come on. Who doesn't love a little TJ's date night?
I love TJ's date night.
But I bring up dating. I bring up attracting someone we're kind of keen on because, Valentine's Day is also coming up.
Ooh, that's true. Right around the corner.
It is. And, we like to talk about all the wacky ways animals do things.
Sure.
In a nutshell. Remember, number one comedy podcast about migration in the world right here, right now.
8 billion people. Number one.
We're number one. And if anyone disputes it, they're wrong. I didn't make the rules. That's just how it is.
They're wrong.
But we figured today,
we will migrate your body to a cemetery if you speak out against us.
He's not lying.
I'm an honest man.
Yeah. He ain't no tiger. He ain't lying.
Heyo.
But today we figured we'd talk a little bit about weird and fun mating rituals for a pretty good handful of animals. Because there's just so much weird stuff that animals do to get with someone they're keen on.
Yeah, but when you think about it, texting is weirder. Being a human is way weirder.
Well, that's what I'm saying. At this point, if you pick up on some tips and tricks here from our animal friends, bring that natural influence into your life. You might just find that special someone for this Valentine's Day.
Right. You could be I don't know, a bighorn sheep, and you could piss on yourself and invite men to come sniff you to smell your pheromones and see if you're a good mate, which is generally what I do when I'm up in the club, and it's been working so far.
Yeah, hey, let's elaborate. So bighorn sheep.
I want to be clear, this is not in my top 5. This is just for witnessing it.
Oh, okay. You've witnessed
But
this. You've seen them do
I
this.
witnessed this. Yeah,
Ooh,
actually,
hold
I
up.
have a lot
I
of
wanna hear
footage
this.
that I've been working on to display these mating habits. But, yeah, and it's it's not unique to bighorn sheep. I know. I think elk and deer and giraffes, a lot of ungulates do this, where the females urinate on themselves, and the males come up and sniff that urine to smell the different pheromones to figure out if she's ripe for mating.
Fellas, go sniff some pee.
Women get so upset when I suggest that. But
Hey, you know what? That's on them. That's their
we
problem.
are so detached from nature with our cell phones and our computers and our Nintendos, playing our Pokemon.
Hey, the Pokemans. God didn't make the Pokemans real. Why are we playing them?
Why? God, why are we playing them? They're not real.
We did have a kid on our block that had that problem. His parents would said, "Nope, no Pokemon," because God said.
So depressing.
Because if God wanted those creatures to exist, He would have made them.
That makes no sense.
Dude.
Hey, kid, don't have an imagination.
If you're not thinking about Jesus Christ, then what are you thinking about? Nothing.
What are you thinking about?
What are you thinking about?
It's a slippery slope.
Yeah, you start having thoughts, imagination, fun. That's not it.
No,
that's not it,
Chief.
Chief.
Thinking a little box.
Mm-hmm. I hope that kid's doing all right.
Yeah. Me too.
But so, what are some of your top? What's one of your top 5? Let's do a little back and forth. I think that.
Yeah, let's do it. I think that's a game of ping pong.
Exactly.
So, I wanted to start off with the hooded seal.
Ooh, tell me about it.
So, I would definitely recommend looking some of this up, but the interesting thing about them is they have an inflatable nose that they develop, and that kind of determines their legitimacy as a mate and how much dominance they would have as a mate. So, females, right? They birth a pup, and they feed the pup breast milk for 4 days before it goes out and starts feeding for fish and whatnot. And they only have 1 day a year where they mate.
Only 1 day?
1 day.
Okay.
So these males are very anxious to get some, and sometimes they'll try and mate before, but the way they do this and their whole thing is like, they have their left nostril just this huge inflatable like balloon, and then it can there's two parts to it. Like sometimes they'll just inflate their nose, and then other times it'll kind of like the fleshy part comes out and it's all big and red and kind of disturbing. And so they'll use that as a way to deter other males, like, hey, I've got the bigger inflatable nostril, bro, you gotta go on and kick rocks.
Okay. So it's more like an intimidation thing than like, look
it's
how
like
attractive my nose is.
And then that also suggests to the female that they're the strongest male, so they're the most worthwhile mate.
Okay.
Generally, if the male might try and mate with that female early just because he's, swooning, and and that generally will result with a little nip on the tail and a retreat from the male. So, pretty interesting stuff. There's a great BBC video on it from Planet Earth 2 that is definitely worth checking out and refreshing your memory if you've seen it before.
Yeah. Let's have David Attenborough tell you all about these seals. In his sweet, soothing voice.
Yeah. Exactly. Boots, you wanna enlighten me on that?
Let's go with let's keep on the idea of ballooning animals. How about that?
I'd like that.
Because I like that the fact that there are multiple just species, not even mammals, like just across all animals, they do this weird ballooning idea. For me, I pick one of my tops is the sage grouse.
Sure.
Real legend of the West.
Sure.
So there is every spring, early in the spring, the sage grouse, they live in these sagebrush steppes, a lot of bushes, a lot of cover, right? until this time of year, and that's when we start strutting our stuff with the sage grouse. So they come into these open fields, and they start something called lekking, or they do their sage grouse leks. Sage grouse, little like chicken like bird, quail like bird kind of deal. The male, he comes out, and there's a lot of them. And it's basically just a little dance competition to see who's the best and who the females will be attracted to.
Sure.
In order to do that, though, in order to have this great dance off, they don't just, bust a move on the dance floor. They don't just, pop it, lock it kind of deal. Sure. Instead, what they do is they have these air sacs in their chest that they just inflate to just really, really big levels. And then they just get these yellow, basically, air sacs coming out of their chest, and they puff up real big, and then they flap their wings very fast and like kind of squeeze in the shoulders. Makes a real big popping noise, and then they just walk around doing that until hopefully they can find a mate.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah, it's really fascinating, and one of the cool things about sage grouse leks, these happen in areas, especially if you live in like a sagebrush place, so Montana, Nebraska, Wyoming, Colorado, Kansas kind of areas. For all our listeners in these areas, I would reach out to your local Audubon Society or any sort of bird conservancy around. A lot of people like to show them off. These are kind of like a big viewed event. They're kind of fun. But the noise they make for the greater sage grouse leks is just incredible, because you would never think that a bird would make this noise just pop in their chest. But,
right.
Yep. So whoever's does the most impressive, whoever's the most attractive to the females, they'll grab them, they'll take them away, and basically you don't want to be the last one picked off the line, kind of deal, because otherwise,
I'm getting anxiety just thinking about it.
Yeah, and one of the other things is sage grouse, because sagebrush steppes are kind of people don't tend to see them as valuable unless you're kind of in the know, which, we're in the know. But
that's why we're here.
Exactly, but a lot of developments get put on sagebrush steppes, a lot of housing, a lot of, because, why this beautiful prairie full of natural occurring things, a Dollar General would look so sick right there. I'm just saying. Yeah. So. Yeah. Yeah, right. It's just like, let's just throw it on Walmart. It'd be so cool, right here.
Dollar Generals and Walmart, the true gems of the West.
Exactly. But what happens is, and it is kind of a sad thing that does happen, when the habitat is getting kind of destroyed or anything like that, the females will leave, because they need to protect their kid, like the chicks. They need to be able to survive, so they'll kind of like skedaddle, get out of Dodge. And it is an occurrence that happens not super often, thankfully, but it does happen, and just be aware of your local sage grouse populations, because what happens is that after all the females leave, the males don't really know that. Males don't stick around. They have their kids and they bounce. Yeah, classic. They had to go out and get cigarettes. They'll be back later.
Yeah.
They pull that move. But what happens is that they will sometimes actually go out to the lekking area that maybe hasn't been touched and just do a dance for no one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So, that is an occurrence that has been starting to happen because of development on sagebrush territory. So just, it's one of those things, Sometimes you do a dance, you get a girl. Sometimes you do a dance and forever wind up alone. So.
Yep.
Make sure you're good at dancing, and make sure you know girls are.
Practice your moves, baby. Mm-hmm. Nice.
What's number 2 for Tom?
All right. I want to jump over to the wolf, and it's kind of just a specific, scenario that happens with wolves. Mm-hmm. So generally, of course, you got the alphas of the pack that are gonna just, you have that one alpha that wants to do most of the mating.
Oh yeah.
And another part of that is to, they determine how large the population is, and they discourage every other wolf from mating, so there's less mouths to feed for the whole pack, and there's more food to go around. But of course, like any animal, their instinct will be to mate. Mm-hmm. So one thing that happens is you get a lone wolf sometimes.
All right.
That's, just wander in the prairie.
One man wolf
or the
pack.
mountains or whatnot. Yeah,
Yeah.
And what it'll sometimes do is if there's a female that wanders off, he'll try and mate with that female.
Mm-hmm.
So think of this as kind of like a James Dean and that kind of guy, and then it's like, just like this Audrey Hepburn, like, cute gal who has, her father's too strict, kind of, or maybe like a West Side Story scenario,
Okay.
forbidden love, and it's sexy, it's hot.
Yeah.
The more people say no, the more you want it.
Sure.
Getting a little bothered just thinking about it. And I should probably talk to someone about that. I mean, what?
Yeah.
So what? What if I'm a furry? What's the problem?
Hey, you know what? If you are furry, come out. Shout out again, Forever West, here in Laramie. Wyoming's only. Remember, Wyoming's only FurCon. So if you ever need to stop by and get,
I hear it's actually a wonderful community of outcasts looking for love.
Anymore, I like when I was younger, of course, dog on the furries because like easy target. But anymore, I've just been like, they're fine. They're not doing anything. Honestly, like how is it weirder
of all the
than anything else
groups
we're doing?
to criticize? It's just furries aren't hurting anybody.
No, and they make so much money. God dang, that's always the thing to me.
Really?
Those fursuits are well over thousands of
Oh
dollars.
yeah, they are pricey.
So I was like, if they got the money, they also commission a lot of art, so they support artists. I'm here for a furry.
Kind of reminds me of like Mardi Gras culture, building the most beautiful costumes.
Yeah,
it's not that different.
it's not that different.
So another thing about dogs and wolves and canines and whatnot is when they mate, that genitalia essentially stays attached for about half an hour.
Okay.
And that's just to assure fertilization. And so it's risky business for this male to now attach itself to a female for half an hour. So what can sometimes happen is that alpha starts, hey, we're missing some of the pack, goes out looking and sees James Dean, humping on Audrey, and wants to chase him off, which is a pretty painful experience for that wolf that now has to remove its penis that's attached to the female. Mm-hmm. So it's got to run off with its tail between its legs, and tough stuff.
That's tough.
I did want to attach a little bonus animal onto this fact, and that was how many do I have here? I think I have 6, right? 1,
Oh wow.
2.
This guy.
Look at me. 3, 4. Yeah. 5. Yeah. So bed bugs, real quick. I just want to get bed bugs in here. Mm-hmm. So a little fun fact about bed bugs is they only mate after feeding.
Okay.
And the males actually stab the females with their penis, like through their bodies to inseminate.
Oh. Okay. Do they die after the fact? Does anyone die, or are they just?
I don't think so.
They just walk it off.
Just walk it.
Just walk it off.
Yeah, they're gonna be walking funny for a couple days, but.
Yeah. Hey, Al.
Heyo. Thanks for letting me tell you that.
Of course. Kind of reminds me of how bees do it. Bees are a little bit more deadly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what a bee, you have the queen bee.
Sure.
So you have queen bee there. She picks a mate. She's like, "Hey, you're a good worker. Mm-hmm. You're here. We're ready. Let's do it." So what she'll have happen is that the male bee will do its mating process and such, but it'll stab itself into the queen bee.
Right.
Yes. However, it doesn't come off. Mm-hmm. So she'll just be like, all right, cool, we're done. We got what we needed. And she'll start going away and just kind of ripping that off the male bee. And then the male bee will then eventually pass on to the next life.
Yeah.
Yep. So I would say a lot of insects like stabbing, I guess, because that's 2. That's more than I thought.
I want to elaborate on that. The male bees, otherwise known as drones, so they'll mate with that queen, but the queen will actually mate with a bunch of different drones and become inseminated by them, and she's able to choose her favorite sperm to fertilize with.
Bees are like the coolest insect.
Dude. They know how to party.
They know how to party. Like, they dance just to talk to each other. Right. Love that fact.
Yeah.
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 Love bees. Who doesn't love bees? Support it.
We'll have to talk bees soon. I feel like
yeah. Get a beekeeper on the pod. Ooh. Oh, we could gush.
Okay. Well, that's you. You wanna give me an animal? Give me a critter.
Oh yeah. So let's talk about. So yeah, I like we got a lot of things that we can just like bounce off of here real quick.
Yeah.
Because we're gonna go from alpha wolves. They're looking to get those James Deans out of here.
Yeah.
But what if you were an octopus?
I've asked myself that a lot.
Yeah, I would say that would have been a better Metamorphosis book by Kafka if it was an octopus rather than a beetle. But hey, that's just one guy's opinion. What can I say? But let's actually go into why I'm talking about octopus. So octopus, they kind of do the same thing. They'll sit there, they find, as they do, they display very brilliant colors because a lot of octopus have that like ability to change colors, camouflage, do all that. Well, when they're doing mating rituals, they like to do a lot of bright colors and be distinct. They want to stand out from the crowd.
Sure. It's called fashion.
What happens is exactly, but when that happens, other males will see that, and then they'll also be like, "Hey, I want a girlfriend.
Sure.
I want to do this. I'll do my own little displaying, right?"
Yeah.
And they do their brilliant displays, and the female gets to pick, and it's very interesting to see because just watching animals change colors is always super fascinating, and I love octopus's active camouflage.
Yeah.
But some of these octopus, as we know, octopus are pretty dang smart.
Yeah. Yeah.
So instead of just trying to, puff out their chest and be like, "Oh, I'm the bigger guy in the room," just instead of having dick measuring competitions to impress females,
Sure.
instead what they do is they actually will study the pattern that the most potential mate is doing, and they'll distract the male who's probably going to mate with the female.
Whoa.
So they'll distract them, try to scare them or whatever, try to get a rise out of them. So they'll leave the female's distance a little bit, copy the camouflage, go back to the male looking like the guy who she was gonna date or mate with. I say date as if I'm a lot of anthropomorphizing here. But he'll just take the place then. The male will just take the place of the potential mate, and they will actually be able to successfully pull it off as a little heist.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. Because same kind of deal with the wolf too. It takes a while. They're when they start doing it, which by the way, the words they don't have normal genitalia type things. The female also will fend off this male until she accepts him, so it's a war of attrition to even do that. Then he mounts her, inserting the hectocotylus in her mantle cavity to pass the sperms.
Dirty little dog.
I know, right? I like a little dirty talk on the pod. But yeah, so I thought one of the interesting things was that octopus, instead of just trying to see who can do it better with puffing out their chest, why not just copy the guy who's doing good anyways? If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Seriously. Seriously. Yeah.
Yeah. What you got for me?
All right. So back to birds. Flamingos have a very fun little mating habit. Again, this one is really worth looking up and seeing the visual display. Obviously, we kind of see that commonality in a lot of birds where they like to dance for their mates. But since flamingos kind of stick around as a flock, they do a really beautiful display of different dance moves, and it's really fascinating to watch. So, I mean, you have these huge flocks of flamingos. Also, flamingos look so weird. Their faces are goofy.
Well, and their color... Okay, can I go a little tangent about flamingos?
Please.
All right, so I want everyone into the room to get ready, because here's a
everybody, get ready.
Get ready. Flamingos aren't pink, naturally.
What?
Yeah. So,
what?
Yeah, flamingos are not pink off the jump.
Right. Yeah.
It's shrimp.
Yep.
They eat so much shrimp, it changes the pigment of their feathers.
Well, that's great that you mentioned that, because that's also part of the mating ritual.
Is it actually?
The pinker the flamingo, the better the mate, because that female is going to know, oh, this guy is really good at foraging for food.
Yeah.
So they want pink feathers, and that's part of their mating ritual.
See, I wouldn't be good at that because like I don't like shrimp to begin with. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not a big shrimp guy.
Yeah, me neither.
That's good. Except for deep fried. I will do deep fried shrimp. But like
deep fried anything.
Deep fried, yeah. I'll say that you can't talk me out of it. But like just like, ooh, I'm gonna have wet, slimy, cold shrimp with tomato sauce. Ooh.
Like, yeah, it's just like I didn't start on seafood for a while as a kid because maybe some tilapia. My family was kind of into tilapia and flounder. Mm-hmm. But I mean, there's one time, God bless my mother, wonderful woman, and I get it, kids are hard, but she told me a fried flounder was a chicken cutlet, and it was flounder, and I really took that hard. I had a little trouble with trust. I just took that personally. But also, with overfishing and all that stuff, it's like, do I really need to push myself to like seafood? I mean, and I like fish. I like salmon, but
salmon's the nectar of the gods.
Yeah, I'm not gonna push myself to be like, I need to eat more seafood.
Yeah, I try to just eat seafood a little bit. I do tuna a lot, or sardines.
Yeah, tuna's fun.
Tuna's fine. I say it's canned tuna. I don't even know how much of it's real.
Well, canned tuna's horrible in the environment. I think we know that, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's the belly of the beast of overfishing. Mm-hmm. But I get it.
And sardines. I do like sardines quite a bit. Just crack in a can. Oh, yeah.
Do you just go after it?
Oh, yeah. Just put a cracker, a little hot sauce. Done deal. Oh, no. Just melts in your mouth, the oils and everything. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, not my thing, but power to you.
Thank you.
But there was a time when I didn't like pickles, and now I'm like,
wait, you didn't like pickles? All right, wait, okay.
I mean, a long time ago.
I know we're off topic by a bit, but let's keep that train going real quick. Kosher or butter?
Kosher.
Okay,
don't be disgusting. Who eats a butter pickle?
I
don't know why they put those on shelves.
Yeah, the sweet pickle. I mean, they're fine sometimes, but I just want a good.
They're fine.
Good
it's
thing.
Here's the less good option. Mm-hmm. I don't get it personally.
That's fair. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad we're on the same boat here.
For sure.
Yeah, we're
for sure.
This podcast is actually kosher, if you didn't know.
Yeah, we always keep it kosher.
Yeah, we keep it kosher.
All right, you got another critter for me?
I do got a critter for you. I have a lot of birds on the list, so let's get my last non-bird off the list.
Okay.
It's funny that we're talking about we're talking about peeing on yourselves. Yeah.
Yes, we were.
But what if you just shit yourself?
We talk about that all the time at work. Like, if you shit yourself, they can't make you stay.
What are they going to do? But what if shitting yourself actually attracted a mate?
Then I would be the most popular man in town.
If you were a hippo, you'd be the most popular man in town. Hippos.
I've always felt that way.
Those are very interesting animals. So they're polyamorous. They don't just mate for life.
Love that. Yeah, so progressive.
Hey, we're not meant for that.
It's like, we can share love. I'm not possessive. Don't matter.
So okay. So bull hippos, they have a couple things they do to in order to get a female to mate with them. So one of the things, they have to have a good amount of territory. As we know, hippos are very territorial, very aggressive animals, actually. These things are horrifying. I even remember watching Crocodile Hunter one time. And Steve Irwin was around hippos, and he said, I'm going to leave because this is a little too scary for me. So
I don't know if you've ever heard an account of a hippo attack, but it is painful.
Yeah, you ever see those videos where
they can fit your whole body into their mouths.
You ever see them throw those watermelons inside and just crunch? That's your head.
Yeah, they will crunch your bones quickly.
So hippos, very aggressive animals, and they they like to build a territory. But they're fighting constantly because 10% of males, roughly, this is a rough estimate, 10% of male bulls actually have adequate territory to acquire a mate. So once they get their house, once they get their land and they go, hey, I got it, I made it, I'm in the big time. The female will, cow, as they're known, will come over and through a series of fecal flinging and vocalization, so singing the right songs and throwing the right amount of scat at them, the two hippos, the bull and the cow, will go under the water, and the bull will go fully underneath the water, and the female will not. She'll only be partially submerged, and they, they get a little action, making another little baby hippo.
Baby hippos
oh my
are
god,
so
like
cute.
Just really perfect animal.
I wish I could just have that as a pet. Like, just keep a little baby hippo around that stays a little baby.
Beautiful.
Pablo Escobar said the same thing, I suppose. Right? He had the hippos.
Oh, yeah. Who doesn't love that? I mean, we could have had him in America. Teddy Roosevelt. You ever hear that one?
Right.
He wanted to throw him in Louisiana and just said, let's just have a hippo population.
I already got gators. Let's make this interesting.
I think he wanted to do it as a food source too. Which
I think he was like, these are big, giant food sources.
What are you telling me? It's a cow. It's beef. Like, no, it's a cow hippo. He's like, same thing. Don't really fucking care. Yeah.
Yeah. And now, and there's still hippos in Colombia.
Yeah, and they're they're just kind of shitting on each other and mating. Because for some reason, it is the pheromone thing, like we said. The difference here is that both animals will do it in order for them to understand if they are a correct match for each other, instead of just one of the animals doing it so the other one can smell them. They're both getting in on the action, doing a little fecal flinging.
Yeah. Little fecal flinging.
Yeah.
Love it.
Because I think they even do with their little tail, because, we've all seen a little hippo tail. It's this little thing, and they just, it's just like a fucking everywhere. We really need you to have the visual here. Yeah.
Yeah. The best we can do is sound effects.
So just close your eyes.
Eyes are closed.
All right. This is like grade 1 podcasting. We are doing so good.
Yeah. You also get ASMR. Not bad.
Where else are you going to listen to a guy pretend he's a hippo blowing raspberries? Except for the number 1 comedy migration podcast in the world.
Number 1. 8 billion people, and we're on top.
Yes. All right, what you got?
Okay, the next one is I think it's like a well-known fact, but there was 2 parts of this that I found really fascinating that I don't think people know about. There's a pretty common trait in the insect and arachnid world where the female will basically eat their mate.
Yeah.
I think we all know that. But so I wanted to focus on the praying mantis because I think there's some interesting details about their mating habits. Yeah. I think everybody kind of knows that a female eats the male praying mantis, but I think the timing of it is really interesting. So this male and female, they're getting it on. God bless. Hey. And while they're still mating, the female eats the male's head.
Okay.
So they're going after it. She eats his head, which is insane.
Yeah.
And honestly, I would definitely recommend looking up a video. I think we said this for everyone. Yeah. A video of that. Because it's like super disturbing close up. And I've seen bugs eat bugs, But it is wild looking just seeing the mate and have the female consume this male's head. And what's interesting is that the male has a second brain in their abdomen to keep them mating.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh. Wait, what?
A woman's dream.
So, like, when they say, "Are you thinking with your dick?" The praying mantis actually is thinking with its dick, is what I'm hearing. Okay,
yes.
Good. So it's just it's dead but not dead at the same time. So so when the female eats the head, and you got second brain kicked in, how long does that last?
well, I guess a while, enough for the male to inseminate the female, and then I'm thinking that female's going to I think like basically here's what would happen is theoretically there's no like specific shutdown, but obviously that praying mantis can no longer eat or drink water, and that front brain kind of controls the decision making of the praying mantis. It controls all its inhibition. So I think it'd be kind of similar to having a chicken with its head cut off, where it's just kind of going. It's just doing. Okay. It's just being.
Yeah.
So it could be until something else eats it, or it starves, or becomes dehydrated.
Okay. That makes sense. Yeah. Second brain, though. Like, holy shit, that's crazy. I actually did not know that. That's insane.
Right? I know. I think that's a really, like, I've known that praying mantis fact, I don't know, like forever, but hearing how exactly they do it, I thought was really interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. What do you got for me?
What I got for you? I got the California condor, one of my all-time favorites.
Oh, yeah, you love California condors.
I love California condors. And, one of the cool things about California condors, we talked about how hippos are polyamorous, and we talk a lot about polyamorous species, but the California condor is not.
Love that.
This is for life.
Yeah.
Which is about like we're talking like 30 years of being with the same animal, because the California condor, their lifespan is about 60 years. They're an old bird.
Yeah.
You have some really old ones. What's really cool about their mating, though, is like they're working together at all times. So they'll have their mated pair. They'll find out doing courtship dances during the winter. So, and they spend all time together. So they're checking out potential nest sites. They see like, maybe is there good enough food here? So they do a lot of stuff together. Yeah. It takes months to fully court and to do a full mating pair.
Sure.
Then after those months, they'll find their proper nesting site. After, like, part of their mating process is also just searching for a right place to have kids. Yeah. To lay eggs. And this is actually kind of one of the issues that's also led to their incredible decline in the United States. So when these condors are with the same mate year after year, they don't really actually have a ton of eggs. So one of the things, because they find the right spot, they have their eggs, they raise their chick for about 6 months. So like it's a
that's a long time.
And it's a long time, and they can only really have one young condor every 2 years.
Whoa.
Yeah. So what happens is because they mate for life, it actually somewhat hurt their chances of survival. Because if it was a polyamorous thing, you go out, you do what you need to do, you raise a bunch of kids, and then you're gone.
Yeah.
But with this mating for life thing, that's actually one of the big contributors to condor population decline, which I found very interesting. That having a mate for life and raising chicks and actually teaching them to fly and do stuff like that hurts you. So that's take whatever lesson you want from that.
Yeah. Fascinating.
But yeah, California condor, just love that bird. Great bird. Cool bird.
Truly. Cool.
What you got?
All right, well, I believe this is my last one, and I did try and save the most fascinating ones for last. Anglerfish. Really cool fish.
Yeah.
So the females can range from 1 to 3 feet. Usually they're about around a foot large.
Yeah.
And the males, being a sexually dimorphic species, are just about 1 to 7 inches long.
Okay.
And so the females, they go around, they got their little light, doing their little disco ball thing.
Oh,
yeah. And little big stretch to attract males. And so once a male and a female love each other very much, the the male will actually fuse its body to the female with its sexual reproductive organs. And that they become fused to that female for the rest of their lives. So
they're alive?
Yeah.
Okay. So they'll just like become part of like this bigger organism?
Exactly. So yeah, their tissue fuses together and all their nutrients comes in through that female. The females can fuse with more than one male. And that's their lives together. So it's kind of crazy. Crazy.
How the hell does something evolve like that? I'm just like, right? The sea is just terrifying at this point. Like, it's like almost like a little bit incomprehensible that they're just like, all right. Although I do find it funny, the idea that like the anglerfish male is like, all right, I got one, and then all of a sudden this guy moves in next door to you.
Yeah.
Because he's like, hey, what are you doing here?
Wait, you're with her too?
Oh. Well, one of us is going to have to change. She's like, I can't. I'm already fused to her entire cellular system.
Well, maybe it's just another free love situation, and they celebrate it and hold no possessiveness.
But, okay, so that's just... Yeah, fish are the weirdest animals on the planet, I think.
Yeah.
Because, like, how does something evolve to just have bioluminescence? Like, that's crazy. Anglerfish, like, how do they figure out? Put a little dangly bit in front of their face.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem real.
Bioluminescence is wild. Even fireflies blow my mind.
Yeah. Or, like, the plankton that just, like, create the ocean to be blue.
Sure.
What is that? Like, why does this exist?
Why?
We'll have to do a bioluminescence episode. That'd be cool.
That's true. We should. We will.
Yeah, but anglerfish, I always remember them from Finding Nemo being like the scariest animal.
Yeah, they're pretty spooky looking.
Yeah. All right, well, this is my last animal.
All right.
And we're going to talk one we've all seen. I hope everyone's seen.
Sure.
And it's the mallard.
Sure.
I love mallards. Love ducks. It's my last one. Yeah. Yeah, I love the color, the purple, the green on the males. Oh. It's just...
A few weeks ago, my employer, when it was during that cold snap, so he grabbed a trash bag, went outside, filled up the trash bag with 6 frozen dead mallards that he shot, and then gave them to my friend because he was going to make a duck prosciutto. Ooh. And it was just like, interesting.
Huh. That's interesting. Well, mallard males are kind of interesting. You know, children, hide your ears. Unless you're wanting to hear some real risque stuff today about duck mating.
Give it to me.
Because, I figured we got to talk a little bit about the genitalia of animals. Just something we got to do. Yeah. We're all adults. We all got to be mature. Except for those kids who are listening, which, again, plug your ears, please.
Yeah, please.
So, mallard pairs generally are monogamous. Stick with one person. But males pursue females. Females don't really do this. It's just a male thing.
Yeah.
To create these things called so-called extra pair copulations.
Okay.
It's really common in a lot of bird species. And it's actually very consensual most of the time. Mallards are the one exception. They are not a consensual bird. Oh. These birds, which has then created some genetic traits in female and male genitalia. That's pretty insane. In order to inseminate, obviously, you have to get the sperm to the right place.
Yeah.
Because mallard males do forced copulation quite a bit, and obviously the females are trying to not do that because they want to keep with the one bloodline and everything like that, they have developed their cloaca is a corkscrew shape. Or it's not corkscrew shape, but it's a spiral, basically. Right. Because you can't put a nail in a screw hole. Like, it doesn't work.
Trust me, I tried.
Yeah. However, duck males, mallards, have evolved alongside that.
Sure.
So they now have corkscrew penises.
Yeah.
In order to get through the twisting and winding cloaca cavities.
Yeah.
So...
Yeah, I'm looking at mallard penises right now, and it's...
Yeah. It's weird.
Insane.
Yeah. It's an
I
insane
think
thing.
dogs had weird penises.
Yeah, the red rocket doesn't compare to the
No, I can't. I'm done.
copulation corkscrew.
The copulation corkscrew. No, it does not.
Yeah. Yeah, because the thing is that the females are the only ones who take care of the eggs. Males do not. And so that's why they're able to do that. They just kind of they pull the old right, I'm bored, I'm gonna go find a new mate. But the females really don't want that. And I just thought that was like a really interesting thing, that like a duck that we've all seen at one point in our lives and been like, oh, that's cool, ducks. It's just like,
I get so happy when I see a mallard. It's like, ooh, mallard.
Yeah, it's cool because then you're like, oh, I identified a bird off its like colors. Like, hey, look at me, professional birder.
Yeah.
But little do we know, they are a serial forced copulation people. Not people, ducks, birds. Non-consensual either, which is just, it's a weird thought to have.
Yeah, not cool. But
not cool ducks.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's one of the interesting like common animals we see has just a weird like mating ritual / also just it ended up evolving to have weird genitalia on both animals or both sexes of the animals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Goofy.
It's goofy. Again, like we think that's goofy, but then like trying to text and flirt and stuff. FaceTime.
You've been on Tinder before?
Yeah,
that is goofy.
It's goofy. Facebook dating's a thing. You ever see that? I know, right?
I've seen it. I've never tried. I can't. That's too intense.
Hinge, Bumble.
I mean, it's just
how many of these things?
Oh, Bumble! What a wild place. The computer's mating for us.
Yeah. So, just don't think we're that weird because we're weird. Everything's weird out there. It's just all a matter of perspective.
Yeah.
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 But we hope you've been listening to this on Valentine's Day. Maybe get you in that loving mood. Cupid's arrows hit you while listening to this podcast. And, I've been... Tom, you got anything for us at the end here?
No. I hope everybody has a wonderful Valentine's Day, whether you're with that special someone or just loving yourself that day.
Hey, just a lot of love. Let's just have a lot of love for anything.
Just a lot of love.
Love the sun.
It's a commercialized holiday, but it does tend to make everybody feel a certain kind of way.
Yeah, and if not, grab a box of chocolates, have some fun for yourself, go on a nice walk, do something. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy someone else's company if you have that. Get together with some friends maybe. Hey, love comes in all shapes and sizes.
Literally.
So, well, I've been Boots.
I've been Tom.
And we'll catch you next time on Made for Walking.
Sounds good. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Nice. I think so.